Hello, and welcome back to English Joy.
Hi, everybody. We are so happy you are here with us today.
Hi, everyone. It's so good to see you.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Mia.
So, Mia, what are we going to learn today?
English conversation. Asking for a day off.
Have you ever needed a day off, but the hardest part wasn't the work? It was asking your boss in English?
You rehearse the sentence in your head. You change the words again and again. And when the moment comes, you freeze.
You don't want to sound rude, you don't want to sound lazy, and deep down, you're afraid your boss will say no.
So, you stay quiet. You keep working, even when you're exhausted, even when you really need a break.
If this sounds like you, you're not alone. This happens to smart, hard-working people every single day.
And the problem is not your English level. The problem is that no one ever taught you what to say in a real situation with real pressure at work.
In this video, you're going to learn how to ask for a day off in English, politely, professionally, and confidently.
Not textbook English, not complicated grammar, but the kind of English people actually use at work.
You'll hear real conversations, simple sentences, natural expressions that native speakers use every day.
And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to say the next time you need a day off.
No stress, no awkward silence, no overthinking.
Just clear, calm, confident English.
Let's start with something very important. Before you ask for a day off, you need the right mindset.
Asking for a day off does not make you weak. It makes you human.
And when you ask the right way, most managers respect you more, not less.
So first, let's look at the exact phrases that native speakers use in this situation.
These are simple, powerful sentences that you can use again and again.
Listen carefully. You don't need to memorize everything. Just let the language sink in.
The first phrase you need to know is this.
I'd like to ask for a day off.
This sentence is polite, it's professional, and it sounds calm and respectful.
Notice something important here. You're not saying I want.
I want sounds too direct at work. I'd like to sounds softer and more professional.
Native speakers use I'd like to all the time with their bosses.
Here's another phrase you'll hear very often.
Is it okay if I take Friday off?
This sentence shows respect. It shows flexibility.
You're not demanding, you're asking.
And that makes a big difference. Now, here's a sentence your boss really cares about. I've already finished my tasks.
Managers don't need your life story. They care about the work.
When you say this, you're showing responsibility.
And finally, one of the most powerful sentences you can use.
I'll make sure everything is covered.
This sentence builds trust instantly.
It tells your boss, I'm not disappearing, I'm prepared. Now that you know these key phrases, it's time to hear how they sound in a real conversation at work. Imagine this situation.
You're at the office. You see your manager at their desk.
Your heart beats a little faster, but you stay calm.
And you start the conversation like this.
Hi, Mia. Do you have a minute?
Sure, Alex. What's up?
I'd like to ask for a day off this Friday, if that's okay.
This Friday? Is everything all right?
Yes, everything's fine. I just need to take care of a personal matter.
All right. Have you finished your tasks for this week?
Yes, I've already completed everything, and I'll make sure the team is covered while I'm gone.
Okay, that sounds good. Please update the calendar so everyone knows.
Of course. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for letting me know in advance.
Now, let's pause for a moment.
You just heard a very normal, very natural conversation.
Nothing dramatic. Nothing complicated.
But every sentence in that conversation has a purpose.
And if you understand why those sentences work, you'll feel much more confident using them yourself.
Let's go back to the beginning of the conversation. Listen to how it starts.
Hi, Mia. Do you have a minute?
This is a very common way to start a conversation at work,
It's polite. It's respectful.
and it prepares your manager for the request.
You're not interrupting. You're asking for their time. Now, listen to the next sentence again.
I'd like to ask for a day off this Friday, if that's okay.
Notice how calm and clear this sounds. You say the day, you say the request, and you add, if that's okay.
That small phrase makes a big difference. It shows that you understand your manager has a choice.
Now, let's talk about this question.
Is everything all right?
This is a normal question.
Your manager is not judging you. They're just checking in.
And this is where many people feel nervous. They think they need a long explanation. But you don't. Listen to the answer again. Yes, everything's fine. I just need to take care of a personal matter.
This is a perfect answer. It's honest, it's polite, and it protects your privacy.
You don't need to share details.
Native speakers use a personal matter all the time with their bosses.
Now comes a very important part. Have you finished your tasks for this week?
This is the real concern. Work comes first.
And listen to how Alex answers. Yes, I've already completed everything, and I'll make sure the team is covered while I'm gone.
This shows responsibility, it shows planning, and it makes your manager feel comfortable saying yes.
Now, before we continue, let's practice these sentences together. Don't rush, just listen and repeat in your head. I'd like to ask for a day off.
Is it okay if I take Friday off?
I've already completed my tasks.
I'll make sure everything is covered.
Good. Now let's move forward, because not every situation is this simple. Sometimes you need to ask in different ways, and that's exactly what we'll look at next.
Let's imagine a slightly different situation. You're not talking face to face. You're sending a message on chat or email.
This is very common in modern workplaces, and the language needs to be polite, clear, and professional. Here's how a native speaker would write it. Hi, Mia. I'd like to ask for a day off next Monday, if possible. I've already completed my tasks and will make sure everything is covered. Thank you.
Short, clear, professional. No unnecessary details.
Now listen carefully to the tone. I'd like to ask, if possible, thank you. These small phrases make you sound respectful. Now let's talk about another very common situation, asking for a sick day. This is something everyone experiences, but many people feel guilty asking. You don't need to feel guilty. If you're not well, you're not productive.
Here's how native speakers usually say it. I'm not feeling well today, and I don't think I can work effectively.
Notice the word effectively. You're talking about work quality, not feelings. Then you continue like this. I'd like to take a sick day if that's okay. Simple. Professional. You're not asking for permission to be sick. You're explaining the situation clearly. Now let's look at a harder situation. Asking for time off on short notice. This is where many people panic. But the language is still simple. Here's a natural way to say it. I apologize for the short notice, but I'd like to ask for a day off tomorrow due to a personal matter. The key phrase here is, I apologize for the short notice. This shows awareness. It shows respect. And again, a personal matter keeps things private. Now let's slow down and practice. Listen and repeat in your head.
I'd like to ask for a day off.
I apologize for the short notice.
I'm not feeling well today.
I'll make sure everything is covered. Good. Now there's one more situation we need to talk about, and this is the one people fear the most. What if your boss says no? Let's look at that next. Sometimes the answer is no, and that can feel uncomfortable. But how you respond is very important, because your response shows your attitude. Let's listen to a realistic example. Imagine this conversation. I'm sorry, Alex, We're very busy this week, and I can't approve the day off. Now, listen to how Alex responds. I understand. Thank you for letting me know. I'll adjust my schedule. This response is calm, it's respectful, and it's professional. You're not arguing, you're not complaining, you're showing maturity. And that matters a lot at work. Often, managers remember this kind of attitude, and next time they're more willing to say yes. Now, let's practice this response together. Listen carefully. I understand. Thank you for letting me know. I'll adjust my schedule. These sentences are simple, but they're powerful. Now, let's zoom out for a moment. Asking for a day off is not just about words, it's about confidence. And confidence comes from preparation. When you know what to say, you feel calm. When you feel calm, you sound natural. And when you sound natural, people trust you. That's why practicing these conversations is so important. You're training your brain, so when the real moment comes, you don't freeze. Now, before we finish, let's do a final speaking practice together. This will help everything stick. All right, let's do this together.
Find a quiet moment, relax your shoulders, and just listen.
You don't need to speak out loud if you're on the bus or at work. Just repeat in your mind.
I'd like to ask for a day off.
Is it okay if I take Friday off?
I've already completed my tasks.
I'll make sure everything is covered.
I appreciate your understanding.
Good. Now, let's put everything together in one smooth conversation. Listen carefully and imagine yourself in this situation. Hi, Mia. Do you have a minute?
Sure, Alex. What's up?
I'd like to ask for a day off next Tuesday, if that's okay.